Jamaica Day is just around the corner. It will be celebrated on February 21, 2020. We want our children and parents to know about our culture, heritage, as well as what the day really means. Welcome to PBCJ's Morning Coffee Guest. I'm your host, Simone Absalom. In just a moment, we will be speaking with Mr. Marlon Williams, Chairman of the Jamaica Day Committee and Senior Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Morning Coffee Guest. I'm your host, Simone Absalom. In 2010, the Governor General of Jamaica, Sir Patrick Allen, proclaimed that Jamaica Day be celebrated annually on the last Friday of February, unless there are adverse circumstances. Here in studio with us is Mr. Marlon Williams, Chairman of the Jamaica Day Committee and Senior Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. He's here to tell us all about this year's Jamaica Day. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so what is the objective of Jamaica Day?
Well, let me first tell you about the genesis of Jamaica Day. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has a program which is dubbed the Civics, Citizenship and Culture in Education program. And out of that program, its mandate is really to implement and design activities that will enhance culture and heritage in our schools. And so Jamaica came out of that. Jamaica is one of the main events that we celebrate, which is in an effort to really highlight the culture, highlight the heritage as a way of retaining it.
All right. The 2020 Jamaica Day theme, celebrating Jamaica, highlighting our icons in the arts, agriculture, and technological innovation. Tell us more about this theme.
Right. So in the past, we normally look at artifacts. This year, we have decided that our human resources ought to be recognized. And so what we have done, we have asked our schools, all our schools in Jamaica, to select an icon or icons and to showcase the life and work of the icon or icons they have selected. And of course, the icon or icons can be those who are living or those who have transitioned, before us.
Oh, interesting. What is the idea behind celebrating Jamaica Day in schools, though?
It is not limited to schools. Jamaica Day is about all of us as Jamaicans, whether here in Jamaica or in the diaspora, celebrating Jamaica. It's not just limited to our schools, certainly not.
Okay, but it's within schools because...
Well, it is within schools, and as a matter of fact, let me hasten to say that, like you said earlier, it was proclaimed by the Governor General that it should be the last Friday in February. And if you notice, this year it is being celebrated on the 21st of February, which is not the last Friday. But of course, like you said, unless there are unforeseen circumstances. And so we recognize that our children, our students, play a critical role in the celebration of this event. They are the keepers of the culture. Persons might think that the older folks are the keepers of the culture, but for me, not so. We have to immerse the younger ones so that they can maintain it, they can retain it. And because of that, the school is really the main focus.
Which is true, because I look forward every year to seeing all the mini Michael Manleys and all the costumes, all the performances, all the facts that they tend to learn and try to impart on their family members. It's really interesting to see.
Exactly.
How, though, does the school get involved? What are some of the requirements that you put forward? Well,
what we do, we normally just send a bulletin to the school with the theme. Now, there's a committee that decides on what the theme should be, and we just leave it up to the creativity of the students. They can add their own interpretation and creativity, as they see fit.
So we were talking about the activities that they do within schools, the costuming, focusing on specific icons and stuff like that. What are some of the activities that happens outside of school and that can happen?
We are encouraging all of Jamaica to be involved in Jamaica Day. And as a result of that, we have launched what is called a Best Decorated Building Competition. And that is in an effort to get the wider Jamaica, persons associated with other ministries, to be a part of the process, to be celebrating Jamaica Day with the schools.
I really want to get into that, but before we get into the special requirements, or should I say the rules surrounding that activity, I wanted to find out some of the requirements for ministries and agencies that are participating in Jamaica Day. Do you have any specific things in terms of that?
Right, so we don't have specific requirements for ministries and the wider public. The only requirement that we have is that you celebrate on the day with us. What we ask you to do is to wear the Jamaican colors, to include the bandana, and that for us is a sign that you are in solidarity with celebrating the unique culture that we have here as Jamaicans. That is an indication for us that you're celebrating, all the things that sets us apart from the rest of the world.
And that invitation also goes out to the wider Jamaican society and our diaspora, of course.
Yes, it does.
All right. So are there any challenges, though, with getting assistance from agencies in carrying out the various activities?
I wouldn't say there are challenges. What we would love to see is greater private sector involvement, greater private sector, and I'm not going to use the word sponsorship, I'm going to use the word partnership. So we would really love to see the wider populace, the private sector coming on board, allowing their staff to, just like I said, wear the colors on that day as a sign, as a symbol that they're celebrating with us.
All right, very well said, especially with your ideas regarding to civic responsibility and national pride. Very, very well said. This is Morning Coffee Guest. When we return, we'll be speaking about this year's major highlight, which is an inter-school visual and performing arts competition and more. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Jamaica Day highlights the rich cultural and diverse heritage of our country. So we think that allowing the students to experience Jamaica Day gives them an idea of what the past, the present, and what the future will be like. So I think Jamaica Day is very important.
It is important to have Jamaica Day because Jamaica Day gives them a chance to have the opportunity to learn about our culture, to learn about our heritage, and to learn about stories that their foreparents have told them from the past.
So when we celebrate Jamaica Day, it is recognition not just of our cultural heritage, but also recognition of the shared values, positive values and attitudes, values of leadership qualities, respect, love of self, appreciating others, respecting others, loving others, caring for each other. Those are the values of service, selflessness, commitment, dedication. Those are the values that we also want every single Jamaican child to understand. We also want them to love and accept themselves as they are. Embrace your Jamaicanness, embrace your blackness, embrace the colors of your skin. We want our Jamaican children, when they grow up, to know that they don't need to bleach their skins. We want them to understand that beauty is within, and to be Jamaican means to be proud. We want our Jamaican children who wear locks to school, or who choose to wear their hairs in cornrows, or the girls who want to do the Nubian twist that we call the China bums. We want them to understand also that there is a place for you, because that is your heritage, that is your culture. And so we want all Jamaicans to embrace that inclusivity of our population.
Bun and Cheese by Miss Louise Bennett Coverley. Them boy they are Jeremy Smarty and a Maca and a Tears. Them a kill themselves with laugh ma and a call her Bun and Cheese. Them say from Good Friday morning our job wanna get no is. Morning, noon and night and bedtime. She was yamming Bun and Cheese. For breakfast, lunch and dinner, she got so Bun and Cheese. She can't got church on Sunday. Moving pictures if you please. She no got some picture aki, cut a ripe and rice and peas. Here are me, put on fire when me got me Bun and Cheese. Each time will come and go, eh? There's a moment fly like breeze. But as long as Matty live, them boy there, I go call her bun and cheese. Aye, aye, aye.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee Guest. I'm your host, Simone Absalom, and we're talking about Jamaica Day 2020, which is being held under the theme Celebrating Jamaica, highlighting our icons in the arts, agriculture, and technological innovations. Still with us in studio is Mr. Marlon Williams, Chairman of the Jamaica Day Committee and Senior Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. Now, before the break, we were talking about a topic or a competition that's being held under the Jamaica Day celebrations this year. It's the Best Decorated Building Competition. Tell us more about that.
So we have decided that we need to find creative ways of getting all Jamaicans involved in the process. Every Jamaican you can think of is attached to a ministry in one way or another. And so what we have decided to do is to launch this competition where each ministry will use the Jamaican colors to decorate their main building or buildings. And that decorating should start the first week in February. Now, we have a team comprised of members from the Ministry of Education and members from the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, who will go out and look at the buildings, and we have a criteria that we use to determine which building is best decorated. And the winner will be announced at the national event on the 21st of February. Let me also hasten to say that Jamaica Day, it is a collaborative event between the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Culture. And this year we have another partner, which we will talk about.
All right. So let's get back to what's happening school-wise. The Denby High School was selected as this year's featured school. Why were they?
Right, so every year we highlight a school in a different region. We have 6 regions. And so what we normally do is to choose a school that we know has a tradition of, putting on excellent displays in highlighting our culture, our heritage. It is always very difficult to choose because when you look at all our schools, when we visit the schools throughout the year, when we send our team out looking at the different stagings, it is always difficult because all our schools always have excellent displays. So we decided unanimously that we should choose Denby this year, and of course next year we'll go to another region and choose another one.
What are some of the activities that will take place at the Denby High School on Jamaica Day?
The day will start with a civic ceremony. The civic ceremony will start at 9 o'clock, promptly at 9 o'clock. As a matter of fact, this year it will be a civic ceremony with a difference. We're having what is called an extended devotion. And this devotion will be hosted by students of Denby High School, along with a team which is dubbed Sunrise with Jesus. And the reason why we have taken this approach is that there's no division between culture and religion. When you look at our heroes and you look at their backgrounds, many of them, their background is in church. And so because of that, we want this year to ensure that the spiritual aspect is brought to the fore, hence that approach. But apart from that, that will lead into the flag raising ceremony. We'll have, remarks from different parliamentarians and so on. And after the civic ceremony, then we have displays and a concert in the afternoon.
All right, tell us about the various partners that play a really, really big role in Jamaica Day. You mentioned that you have a new partner and you also have partners who have been involved since day one. Right.
And so I was always of the impression that private sector needs to do more. And so what I did, I reached out to Mr. Kevin O'Brien Chang, who is the chairman of Fontana Pharmacy, and I indicated to him that we need a company that will represent the private sector in Jamaica Day 2020. And one of the things I highlighted very early, that when I was asking for money, we're just asking for a partnership in whatever way. And he said, just tell us what it is that you want us to do. And in my discussions with him, he has a passion for building greater awareness. And we spoke about competition. So the competition was actually his idea, that we could have the students compete. And so out of the discussion, we have what is called the creative arts or the performing arts competition, where the students or the schools, each school, will choose their icon and they will create a 2 to 3 minute video highlighting the life and work of the icon or icons they have selected. One of the things though that is a must is that all the art forms must be present in that 2 to 3 minute video. So we must see drama, we must see dance, we must hear music as well, and of course the visual art aspect must be present in the presentations. Now, we must hear Fontana's tagline, which is, "It's all good inside." And we also must hear the ministry's mantra, which is, "Every child can learn, every child must learn." And so the competition has been going on. The videos have been posted on a YouTube channel and persons have been voting. They have been liking the videos, and the winner will be announced at Jamaica Day on the 21st.
All right, so which YouTube channel can we go and see?
Right, so
videos?
if you go to Fontana Ministry of Education Creative Competition, then you can access the videos and like them.
Really? Interesting. I can't wait to see all the regular little Miss Lou's and, the drama. Oh,
right. And
that sounds so interesting.
Yes, I have been seeing some very exciting videos on the channel.
What's your favorite icon that's selected so far in those videos?
I don't want to appear a little biased, so I will refrain from answering that one. But just to say that, I've seen some very creative presentations, very creative presentations.
All right. So do you think Jamaica Day has the recognition that it deserves, though? But over the years, we've seen, interest in the day. But are you seeing enough interest from our regular Jamaicans and from the schools and all the other persons who participate?
There's always room for improvement. When it comes onto the schools, there's no doubt there that they are 100% sold on Jamaica Day. What we need to see is the wider population getting involved. And like I indicated earlier, just the fact that they're wearing the colors is very significant to us. But also to display certain behaviors. There's something about a Jamaican. There's something about the spirit of a Jamaican, the behavior of a Jamaican. We always hear the saying, Jamaican, no problem, man. We need to get back to those days where everybody feels as if Jamaica, no problem, man, and display that kind of behavior. And that for us, will be a symbol that everybody is involved in the process.
All right, the day is almost up on us. You have been working on this for how long now?
Well, as a matter of fact, when the last Jamaica Day ended, that is when the committee started working on the one that is to come. So I can say that we have been working on this a year in advance.
Okay, so you must have some idea of what you want to see happening next year. What can we look forward to in terms of your plans developing the day into an even more successful event?
Right. Next year, and of course, this is up to discussion with my committee, of course, but we want to maybe focus on values and attitude for the next one. We are seeing, a society where we realize that there needs to be improvement in that area. And in order for our children to exhibit positive values and attitudes, we have to also start with the parents as well. We have to start with the adults among us. And so next year, I think that is where we might go, to highlight that.
Get the parents involved.
To get the parents involved.
I would like to see members of the diaspora more involved as well. I mean, since you have social media involved, then we can reach a wider audience. What do you think?
Most definitely. The last one we had a live streaming. This year we are working on that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we are working on that. But we have some plans in place to get the diaspora involved.
All right, thank you very much for coming to speak with us and educating us on Jamaica Day, and of course on celebrating our culture and our civic pride. Come February 21, ensure that you show your patriotic side and wear the national colors to celebrate Jamaica Day. Thank you all for joining us. This has been Morning Coffee Guest.